6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by J. Yogaraj and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. The President says in his Milad-un-Nabi greeting message that coexistence and the basis of Prophet's vision. The Prime Minister in his greeting message stated that the Prophet Muhammad was the pioneer who established a system of Islamic values, setting an example for others. 570 new coronavirus cases confirmed within yesterday. Health authorities have requested the public not to travel, violating travel restrictions and ignoring health guidelines. Trade unions say principals and teachers informed to report for duty on October 25th. Cabinet approval to import nano-nitrogen liquid fertilizer. News from overseas. Colin Powell, former U.S. Secretary of State, dies of COVID complications. In sports, Theekshana spins Sri Lanka to comprehensive win against Namibia. Local news in detail. Today is the birth anniversary of the Prophet Muhammad. Milad-un-Nabi is the celebration of the birthday of the Islamic Prophet Muhammad, which is commemorated in Rabi al-Awwal, the third month in the Islamic calendar. The history of this celebration goes way back to the early days of Islam, when some of the Tabi'un began to hold sessions in which poetry and songs composed to honor Muhammad were recited and sung to the crowds. It has been said that the first Muslim ruler to officially celebrate the birth of Muhammad in an impressive ceremony was Muzaffar Din al-Ghaffari. Meanwhile, the President says in his Milad-un-Nabi greeting message that coexistence the basis of Prophet's vision. The President further said today is the birth anniversary of the Prophet Muhammad, who showed to the world that benevolence and honesty are the two characteristics that needed for a person to be trusted by everyone. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa said in a message marking Milad-un-Nabi. The President further said, the profound religion the people believe in and accept has become the basis of thinking and behavior of mankind in any society. The life and philosophy of the Prophet Muhammad depicts the rationale of the Islamic belief that the God reveals himself to the people who are sincere and that the God exalts such persons to suitable and higher places. The President further said that the best way to pay special respect to Prophet Muhammad, who is highly revered by the Islamic devotees in Sri Lanka and the world over, is to strive to further disseminate his vision to strengthen coexistence among the people. It is most timely than ever before to apply the humanitarian philosophy of the Prophet Muhammad maintained throughout his life towards social welfare today. May the lives of the Islam devotees around the world, including Sri Lanka, who revere the exemplary life of the Prophet, be enlightened and prosperous. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa in his greeting message stated that the Prophet Muhammad was the pioneer who established a system of Islamic values, setting an example for others in his personal life to build a dignified human love full of humanity. The message further stated, "It is with great pleasure that I extend my best wishes to all Sri Lankan Muslims who are celebrating the birthday of the Prophet Muhammad, believed to be the seal of the messenger and prophets of God in all the main branches of Islam. The vision of the Prophet was always to fill human society with virtue of wisdom and non-violence. The essence of the Prophet's teaching as a messenger of God is to show man the good way of living in the world. I believe that all Muslim people following his wisely construed way can give their maximum contribution for a better society." This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The Health Ministry says that another 103 persons have tested positive for COVID-19, increasing the daily count of new cases to 570 yesterday. This includes 102 patients associated with the New Year COVID-19 cluster and one returnee from overseas. This brings the total number of COVID-19 cases registered in Sri Lanka to 532,218, while 25,736 infected patients are currently being treated across the island. The Cabinet of Ministers have granted approval to import nano-nitrogen liquid fertiliser for 900,000 hectares, according to Agriculture Minister Mahindananda Alutgamage. Meanwhile, the Minister of Agriculture says that 3.1 million litres of nano-nitrogen liquid fertiliser have already been ordered from India. 100,000 litres of liquid fertiliser will arrive today via air freight as the first delivery of this order. The Teacher Principal Trade Union Alliance has informed principals and teachers to report for duty on the 25th of October and not on the 21st and 22nd when the primary sections of schools with less than 200 students reopen. Speaking to reporters, the trade union leaders said that teachers and principals will not report to schools on Thursday, October 21st and Friday, October 22nd, when these schools open, and however, they will report for duty from the 25th of October, Monday. Today marks the 99th day since teachers and principals trade unions started a strike action and withdrew from online teaching activities, demanding solutions to issues over wage disparities. Meanwhile, the Education Ministry had decided to reopen the primary sections of schools with less than 200 students on the 21st of October. Final rites of the Sri Lanka's first Test captain, Bandula Warnapura, will be held at the Borella Cemetery at 4:30 p.m. today. He passed away while receiving treatment at a private hospital in Colombo. Bandula Warnapura was 68 at the time of his demise. He had undergone surgery on his leg earlier this week. Bandula Warnapura had played 4 Test matches and 12 one-day internationals during his international cricketing career from 1975 to 1982. He was a right-handed opening batsman and a right-handed medium-pace bowler. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa is issuing a condolence message says that he is deeply saddened by the demise of the first Sri Lankan Test cricket captain, Bandula Warnapura. The President has paid his deepest condolences to his loved ones. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa said in his message that, and I quote, "May Mr. Warnapura's contribution to cricket be forever remembered by fans around the world," unquote. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa says, and I quote, "It's a great loss to the Sri Lankan cricket, the demise of Mr. Bandula Warnapura. He had served as the head coach of Sri Lankan cricket and as an administrative officer as well," unquote. The Prime Minister in his condolence message says that he felt very sad after hearing the news of the loss of Mr. Warnapura. And that ends local news.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Main news story. The President says in his Milad-ul-Nabi greeting message that coexistence, the basis of Prophet's vision. The President further said today is the birth anniversary of the Prophet Muhammad, who showed to the world that benevolence and honesty are the 2 characteristics that are needed for a person to be trusted by everyone, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa said in a message marking Milad-ul-Nabi. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
And now in Watch Live.
Health authorities have requested the public not to travel, violating travel restrictions and ignoring health guidelines. Director General of the Health Services Dr. Asela Gunardana said that it is a high risk for the public to travel when there are restrictions. He requested the public to refrain from travelling between the provinces. He pointed out that 500 to 600 corona patients are still being reported daily from the country. Therefore, he emphasized that the pandemic can spread rapidly again if the public act irresponsibly. And that was Watchlight.
World News.
In the headlines, former U.S. Secretary of State Colin Powell dies of COVID complications. Afghanistan polio, UN plans nationwide vaccine campaign. China denies testing nuclear-capable hypersonic missile. World news in detail now. Tributes are being paid to former U.S. Secretary of State Colin Powell, who has died of COVID-19 complications, aged 84. The former top military officer died on Monday morning, his family said. He was fully vaccinated. Powell became the first African-American Secretary of State in 2001 under Republican President George W. Bush. He also sparked controversy for helping garner support for the Iraq War. The UN has announced a nationwide polio immunization campaign in Afghanistan for the first time in many years. Children's agency UNICEF said they had the full support of the Taliban for the project due to begin in early November. The Taliban will also allow female staff on the campaign and provide security to the teams, the agency said. In the past, the militant group have opposed vaccination, falsely claiming it was a Western conspiracy to sterilize Muslims. China has denied reports that it tested a nuclear-capable hypersonic missile earlier this year, insisting instead that it was a routine spacecraft check. The initial report in the Financial Times newspaper prompted concern in Washington, where U.S. intelligence was reportedly caught by surprise. Hypersonic missiles are much faster and more agile than normal ones, meaning they are more difficult to intercept. Back to the headlines of the world news. Former U.S. Secretary of State Colin Powell dies of COVID complications. Afghanistan polio, UN plans nationwide vaccine campaign. China denies testing nuclear-capable hypersonic missile. And that ends World News.
And now in development news.
The government has implemented a work plan to promote the school students to learn about the archaeological science and related subjects. The work plan also includes some demonstrations to attract the students. Archaeological studies has been an important subject in Sri Lankan history. Therefore, it's important that the students should learn this subject. And that was Development News.
Sports news.
An all-round display from Sri Lanka was too much for Namibia to handle, with Dasun Shanaka's men beating the associated side by 7 wickets. Spinner Theekshana was primarily responsible for bamboozling the Namibian batting lineup, who didn't find any rhythm all innings, collapsing 96 all out inside 20 overs. The scores: Namibia batted first and were bowled out for 96. In reply, Sri Lanka reached the victory target, losing only 3 wickets with 39 balls remaining. And that was Sports News.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to September 30th, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency through NSB U-Trust for 6 months consecutively. Send more money and increase the chances of winning.
Business news. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
In business news, the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID Private Sector Development Project signed a Memorandum of Understanding MOU with Hatton National Bank plc HNB to expand financing to micro, small and medium enterprises MSMEs in Sri Lanka. Partnerships like this can dramatically enhance economic and social impact more than any of us could achieve on our own, said USAID Mission Director for Sri Lanka and Maldives, Reid Asherman. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
In economic news, Sri Lanka is looking at a fairly modest and undisturbed economic performance in fourth quarter, says ICRA Research in their Economy at a Glance for September 2021 report. The government lifted the quarantine curfew in early October and 60% of the Sri Lankan population will be fully vaccinated soon, reaching a new milestone. We believe the worst of the Delta variant is behind us. Businesses have learned to deal and operate amidst the pandemic over time, and due to these factors, Sri Lanka is looking at a fairly modest economic performance in the fourth quarter. And that was economic news.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
Weather Report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, brings Nanasa app, a trilingual educational mobile app for online learning with video-based lessons from grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with the Nanasa app. No subscription fees. Download via Google Play Store, App Store, Huawei Store or Windows. Dialogue, the future today.
In the weather report, the Met Department says several spells of showers will occur in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central and northwestern provinces and in the Galle and Mathura districts. Showers or thundershowers may occur at a few places in the Uva province and in the Ampara and Batiklo district during the afternoon or at night. This weather report was published this morning at 4:30 a.m. Further details could be obtained by visiting the official website of the department. Meanwhile, the International Weather Forecast website AccuWeather.com reports that the day's weather will be bright with occasional showers. Today's daytime temperature would be around 30 degrees Celsius. There will be light showers in many places in Colombo district at night. Tonight's temperature will be around 27 degrees Celsius and there will be scattered showers in selected spots late at night. The ground temperature would be 27 degrees Celsius at the time of this news broadcast. The Air Quality Index AQI is 19, which shows fair condition in Colombo. The air quality is generally acceptable for most individuals. And that was the weather report.
Weather Report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, brings Nanasa app, a trilingual educational mobile app for online learning with video-based lessons from grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with the Nanasa app. No subscription fees. Download via Google Play Store, App Store, Huawei Store or Windows. Dialogue, the future today.
To end this news broadcast, back to the headlines. The President says in his Milad an-Nabi greeting message that coexistence the basis of Prophet's vision. The Prime Minister in his greeting message stated that the Prophet Muhammad was the pioneer who established a system of Islamic values, setting an example for others. 570 new coronavirus cases confirmed within yesterday. Health authorities have requested the public not to travel, violating travel restrictions and ignoring health guidelines. Trade unions say principals and teachers informed to report for duty on October the 25th. Cabinet approval to import nano nitrogen liquid fertilizer. News from overseas. Colin Powell, former US Secretary of State, dies of COVID complications. In sports, Theekshana spins Sri Lanka to a comprehensive win against Namibia. And with that, we end this news broadcast